So today in Overtime Mechanics Mad Max Lab, what we're dealing with is we're up here at the mechanic shop, or I'm sorry, the welding shop. The mechanic shop is down at the other place. So up here at the welding shop, what I've got is I've got the legs extensions for the cherry picker that I have. And the problem is that I've broken the cherry picker a multitude of times. I've repaired it. It's gotten stronger and stronger each time. So today's upgrade has to deal with being fed up with the caster wheels. So go over a little bit of information here. The 1 tons and 2 ton cherry pickers are pretty awesome. Their caster wheels are pretty small. I found a set of casters that were a great deal bigger at one point, and I had them bolted up, and that was great for a while. And the problem is when the when the caster breaks, it rips, get some of this grass out of here, it rips that area right through this plate here. So what's left is when it hits the concrete seam, or some gravel, or a little pebble, or whatever it is that made your wheel pop off, you end up with the top part of the plate in the entire caster itself. So I experimented. I had the steel wheels. I liked the result for the ability to pack weight. I way overloaded them. They took the abuse. I liked this other wheel that I had on there for a while. I kind of mixed and matched. It packed the weight pretty good. It would roll over some softer sand. It was starting to get chewed up because it was packing a lot more weight than it should. And unfortunately, when I unloaded the cherry picker the other night after the repair for the front support pieces, I upgraded to way bigger casters. So I'm hoping that these bigger casters have a better result. So what I'm replacing it with now is a caster that is, I don't know, 8 times its size. We have a Zerk fitting there for grease. We spin it around, I believe. Yep, there it is. We have another Zerk fitting for more grease, so that way it's a nice oiled deal. If you're not familiar with this type of setup, it just works as a bearing, is what the grease does. It provides a lubricated surface for it to roll around on pretty fluidly. So for me, I like that. That's the best way to go as far as I'm concerned, just short of having an actual pillow block bearing setup. So the downside is, I'll show on a quick crude example. Came off the farm gate right outside the welding shop here. So usually this blue part goes onto the gate. Usually you have a shaft that sticks out. Sorry about that, rough cameraman here. You have a shaft that sticks out, and then you usually have a wheel that goes on there. So if you don't oil your wheel, if you don't have a bearing, you literally will wear the center right out of it. So a $20 gate wheel has been wallowed out. And because there was no grease on it and no, any type of lubricating properties, it just carved right through that axle. Get my finger out of there. You can see on the right of that shaft, it cut through. It didn't have a problem doing that at all. So what's on the farm gate now is a bearinged wheel. So bringing back to home, so to speak, the cherry picker, having a greased up wheel will now be my bearinged wheel. These are rated roughly at 1,500 pounds per wheel. I have 2 casters, one on each side in the back, and one on each side in the front that is fixed to roll straight forward. I'll show you the overall cherry picker when we get back. Got a great little story to go with it. Alrighty, so what we got is, wheels welded on, or wells welded on, apparently, because I can't speak because I'm hangry, and I'm sure my other half is as well. She's technically waiting on me for lunch, so typical me fashion, if you know me, procrastination is king. But when it's time to boogie, oh man, do I get with the program. Okay, so break off a little piece of wire here. We're fully lubed up, ready to go. The other one as well. I did some small beads on the top there, as you can see. I didn't want to get too close to the bearings, potentially fry or melt the bearings. I don't know how fragile they are or what their welding point is. I know I say fragile when we're talking about industrial grade equipment, but my luck, one never knows. I can break an anvil and I can break a pickaxe. I've seen me do it. So, proper lubrication is important regardless of who and what you're doing. Same with dehydration, my friends. So, the next shot that'll come about will be it actually assembled on the cherry picker. I think the old fabled cherry picker might get some lime green paint today, even though I want to powder coat it in the future. So for those of you that are following, this will be a 2-part video. It'll be added to 2 different ones. One for a cherry picker, The other one is for the 454 coming out of the motorhome. So, cherry picker looks like shit because I primered it, ran out of primer, and then thought, you know what, it'd be really cool to have it powder coated lime green. So that's where it's going to go in the future. The big heavy duty casters, absolutely loving it. Running over a lot of things minus extension cords. Unfortunately, the next upgrade is going to be the outer beam itself, or whatever you want to refer to it as. But the reward is I've got the 454 after an all-day battle and breaking part of the engine bay. In the future, if you do an RV, take a Sawzall, cut it out. Make yourself a cakewalk of a situation.